so I can send this to the people that aren't here yet. Anyway, well, welcome everybody. Thank you guys for coming. I'm glad you all figured out the registration. Apologies for all the falafel, all the up and down earlier this week. I had a little snafu with the registration, but I'm glad you guys could all make it. I just thought we could take this opportunity to kind of fill in the alumni that can come and maybe send this to the alumni that can't make it about what's sort of happening. I mean, there's always something happening in North Mountain, but what's kind of happening right in the next couple of months or weeks, and just kind of check in with you guys and kind of fill you in on some of the changes that we've made to the master's program since you all graduated, so that as you talk about the program and meet people who you think would be excellent students in our program, that you have accurate information to send them, to give them. And also we've sort of updated the way we interact with new potential students, so we can give you an opportunity to kind of get in on that. So the first thing I wanted to say was that there is and I'll be putting a couple things in the chat room, like links and things. We're going to start, Anthony Flaccavento, who is a big player in the US Appalachian area in the issue of rural-urban divide in the American society, is going to do a special webinar series for Future Generations University. So that starts on the 8th of June, and it's every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. US time, Eastern time. So that might not work for some people, but we're going to have these free webinars where we talk about this issue and how to solve it, how to sort of get both parties talking to each other. And so I'm going to put the flyer we have in the chat, and you guys, if anybody's interested, can pre-register for that. You'll also get it through the various social media avenues as well. So just wanted you guys to be aware of that, because I think that's going to be really interesting. We're also, for those people that are around or interested, we're having, at this point, still planning a graduation in person, June 5th on North Mountain. So be great to see you if you can make it. It's harder for some of us than others to get there for all sorts of reasons. So, but I just wanted to put that out to the alumni, because, and we should have, and well, Rosie will be graduating, so that's very exciting. And so just to add to the Future Generations alumni family there. The other two things I had on my list, kind of updates, and I actually haven't had that many people join in, so hopefully we had a contingent from Vietnam that were trying to join in, but I'm not sure what happened with that. The SDL, so there's two things that have kind of come to the alumni network through different ways: the SDLC's project and the doctoral program proposal. And so I just wanted you guys to know that those two things are still, they're still on our minds. They haven't gone anywhere, but we you guys hear about them when we're sort of still in the sort of bubbling phase, and we try to check it out with alumni and see if it sort of rings true for you. And we're still in the sort of structuring that phase. And COVID of course did what it does, but so I just wanted you to know that you will hear more about both of those projects in the next couple months or so. So that was Daniel, are you back with us? Is there anything else that you kind of just want a quick update on? Hey, what's going on with that thing that you heard about?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm here.
Okay.
Somebody had stuck Luke was caught in traffic, and so he just stuck his nose in the office, and he'll be getting on this call so he can give the update on the SDLC.
Sure.
But what would you want me to pick up on something in particular, or shall I mention on the doctorate, since you mentioned that?
I mean, if you have a couple minutes, I was just saying that I wanted you to go ahead and facilitate introducing the alumni.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's okay. We're obviously not in the same building or state at the moment.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have everybody here. And I think that for right now, I just want to say that things are going super well here in North Mountain in my office. Basically, we're excited about the new class that's starting in the fall with new enrollees, but there's a lot of neat stuff that's happening in various country programs. Nawang's on the call. He's got some stuff happening with the Biomeridian project in Nepal. But there's also some good work happening in Bolivia with the Songs of Adaptation project. I'm very pleased about the work that's happening in Afghanistan. I might mention some of that in the country programs. I don't see anybody on here right now from the Haiti program, but they've got the growth of the library there in Cité Soleil. Those of you who are classmates of Roby and Sabina, and then Jerry and all the other Haiti group, that project is going very nicely. It's become a real center of the community down there. But here on North Mountain, we've, well, Stephanie's on. I could let her give that summary. The board had a board meeting yesterday. We've got a new and expanded board. Finances are looking strong for the institution. The new trustees are picking up a variety of new jobs. Some of you have perhaps know David Hales, who's the new board chair. He previously was president of the College of the Atlantic. We have a new treasurer, Anthony Flacavento, and Kelly mentioned the webinar he's going to be running on the urban-rural divide. From my side, I've got, I'm doing a lot of work on how to measure our future generations' impact around the world, and coming up with a variety of new metrics on that. I guess what I appreciate the most is when people send me messages. And one of the nice things about being the old man is that you folks are sending me messages and keeping me up to date on things. And I just really, really appreciate it when I hear from you and hear the various items of news. But I think from here on, from North Mountain, Luke, it's really important if you give an update on what the plans are with the SDLCs, which from the board meeting yesterday, they gave an affirmation of how they want to do that. Because what's important about that is that that's an opportunity for you alumni to start to create local centers and chapters of engagement. So instead of it being concentrated here in the North Mountain headquarters with the SDLC idea, it gives you opportunities to engage in your local situations. And we got some special money last year in order to allow that to grow. We have some new money that's going to continue to come to support you in starting these. So I'm going to turn it over to Luke, but Stephanie, I think it's important for you to give the update from here in headquarters. Stephanie's been running the office, and as you know, she's an alum from 3 years ago now, I guess, Stephanie. So welcome everybody, and thank you, Kelly, for organizing this call.
Go ahead, Luke.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's good to see a lot of old faces. Sorry, I got held up in road work, and it took me about twice as long to get to the office as normal. So I'm sure you all understand that, but it's great to see everybody this morning. As Daniel mentioned, we about a year ago, in accordance with the strategic plan, the idea of these SDLCs, Sustainable Development Learning Centers, as they were originally called, and we have modified that definition to actually call them Sustainable Development Learning Chapters, because that's exactly what we want them to be. We don't want them to be, if you all think back to your coursework and when you were in this program, you all remember that at scale squared, we call those self-help centers. But as you all know, those are not just a building or a facility. Those are a collection of regional action learning and experimentation. And so the goal behind the SDLCs is to do that, is to provide the global network of practitioners, of which you are all members, with real action learning and experimentation centers around the world that will be providing you case evidence and demonstration materials that are much more regional in nature, instead of some of the more global work that the university's done. So we are still very much kind of in the conceptual rollout of this idea. I've had a lot of really, really good discussions with certainly all the Future Generations Country programs, a number of alumni. I want to thank everyone who submitted an application a year ago. And as that has rolled out, we have really begun to pilot this idea here in Appalachia, in our backyard, stemming out of the work that really Mike Recklin's research around the maple industry and how we can create sustainable businesses. And it's been really exciting to see that roll forward and begin to partner with a number of different alumni. Our friend Bethany Lewis down at the West Virginia Food and Farm Coalition, Reverend James Patterson down at the Partnership for African American Churches, and certainly all of the alumni who still are here and work within the university in a capacity. We are also hoping to begin some activities this coming year in Ethiopia, and that would really hopefully be expanding to have an East Africa focus for that SDLC. And I want to make a point to note that while this is a collective endeavor in each one of these cases, we're trying to find a local partner, a regional partner that will serve as the physical agent for the activities we're doing. So in the case of Ethiopia, we are working with IIRR. I don't see Zerahun on this call, but Zerahun, and that's stemming out of the work, those of you who had the opportunity to work with Freo. So we're working with Freo and Fisia and Zerahun and a number of our other East African alumni on that. And we continue to entertain conversations with a number of different country programs around finding an additional location for that. And so I think for those of you, I get in parting, for those of you who are saying, well, I want to become involved with an SDLC, how do I become involved with an SDLC? Well, it really starts with a conversation or an idea, but it can't just be a conversation or an idea. What's really critical is that we need to really be bringing together some existing successes and institutional programs to make them more effective. So a number of the applications I received were very much one-off ideas by an individual alumni. And that is much more kind of approaching it at the scale 1 level. So in order for us to really be able to get something going, if you're thinking about trying to do an SDLC, you need a critical mass. You need to have found whether it's a number of alumni or other collaborators, partners within a region. And specifically, you need to be able to bring this forward, or we need to be able to start to frame this conversation around institutional partnership building. And so I think that's a key distinction that is important to understand, as the SDLCs are bringing together institutional or organizational successes, of which we hope you are involved and are the leaders. But we are not at present able to really start this idea purely just based on an individual's initiative. And so I'm happy to answer additional questions on that. But that is the basic framework. And I hope that you will all begin getting much more active updates on this in the coming year. As I think everyone knows, we are actively have a job opening for the Global Network Coordinator position. That position, it does need to be based here in the United States, based out of this office for a number of reasons. But so if you all are interested, please, there is a special application form that was posted to the Global Network Facebook group that would be a special application for alumni. We are also opening that job position up for other considerations. So if you know other individuals who you think will be qualified, certainly we're people who are able to be able to meet that in-person requirement, please do also refer them along, and the public job posting is available on the website. Kelly, back over to you.
Thanks, Luke. So Daniel, do you want to go ahead? I try to keep these things to the hour that we set them for. And of course, I should have made a time limit for each of your introductions, but there's so much to hear about all the great stuff that you're up to and the challenges that we're all facing around the world in the hard work that we are doing. So it's really always great to meet up with you. And I echo Stephanie's idea, even dream scenario of having a homecoming in North Mountain at some soon time. So I was going to do a little introduction about the master's program as it is now, but we've kind of run out of time. I put 2 files in the chat that are kind of basically image files that you could send to someone that you think would really benefit from being in the program. Some of the big differences, just to mention them, are that you don't have to join the master's program all together. You don't have to do an entire, you can do it 1 course at a time, 2 courses at a time. We've also gotten permission from the Department of Education to allow students to bring in previous community development work that they've done as for college credit. So for some of people who are working, fully working in the community development world, this can be really helpful because it shortens the amount of credits they have to get, so it becomes cheaper and also a faster process. Bye, Ellen. It's great to see you all. The other big change, and I'll be sending all of this out in the next weeks or so, is that we also got permission from the Department of Education to allow students to start in our program who do not have a bachelor's degree. So if you have someone who's working with you or someone you know who's been working in the field of community development but somehow missed finishing their bachelor's degree, we now have an opportunity for them to start in our program. There's some criteria that they have to fill in, but basically if they're good students, we can then allow them to graduate with a master's degree from Future Generations University. So that's a really interesting proposal that we've put on the book. So we've had a couple people in that situation who didn't have master's degrees, didn't have bachelor's degrees starting off, and so far they've been doing really well in the program. So with that, I can stay on till the end. I know Daniel's running to another meeting, and it's always great to see you all. And I'll be sending it an evaluation so you can give us some feedback on what we should do next time and all that kind of great stuff. So
Yeah.
great.
See you.
Yeah.
Congratulations, everybody. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Fantastic.
Thank you very much.